Guess who's back again.
What's up, Game of Throners? It's your boy DJ11 here, back at you with another recap and review of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 2. And what's up? The boy is back. Scratch that. Kill the boy and let the man be born. Shout out to Master Aemon. Oh man, you know I'm gonna love anytime you get to see 1-1 come in and just wreak havoc and smash shit, dude. When he grabbed that fool and smashed him up against the wall, you know that was sick. Oh, all in all, this was a dope episode, so let's get into it. It is beautiful beneath the sea, but if you stay too long, you'll drown. This week opens under the weirwood tree. Bran and Bloodraven are under the sea, which is definitely going to help explain some of those patch-face prophecies. Shout out to all my book readers. They're in a vision back in Winterfell when Ned was younger than Bran is now. He got to see Hodor talk. Hearing that Hodor was a stable boy, the obvious prediction here would be to say that Hodor got kicked in the head by a horse and went dumb. But no, not I. Now, I had to rewind it a couple of times to hear it, but when Lyanna jumped off her horse and was walking over towards her brothers, she said to Benjen, "Who are you going to spar with when Ned goes off to the Eyrie?" I think Hodor grabbing the sword to spar was foreshadowing his accident. Before even a single swing was taken, old Nan was dragging him off by the ear, saying, "Leave the fighting to the little lordlings," like she knew something bad was going to happen. Now, I've always thought that maybe Hodor was dueling with Robert Baratheon or Brandon Stark, and it got out of hand, and he was like, "Harder, harder, hit me harder," and whichever one he was fighting with smacked him upside the head so hard he went dumb. And I still think this might be the case in the books. But it looks like in the show, maybe Ned leaves for the Eyrie, and Benjen has no one to spar with, so he makes Willis, in the books his name is Walder. I guess they don't want you getting him mixed up with any of the phrase. But either Benjen loses his shit and hits him when he's trying to walk away, or like Benjen starts going wild on him and Hodor is trying to back away and shield himself and doesn't see the horse behind him, and the horse gets spooked and kicks him in the back of the head. I think one of those two is definitely the way that he ends up going, Hodor. Or maybe Hodor's just maybe the name that should not be spoken. Pan outside to Mira, and she's not happy at all. She's getting restless. There's nothing at the tree for her to do. What's interesting is when Bran and Hodor went back inside, Leaf, one of the little children of the forest, told Mira that Bran wasn't going to be here forever. Where's he going and how? This obviously is a great deviation from the books. In the books, the children have already made Bran his own weirwood throne, and it's all nice and comfy, and he's in for the long haul. In the show, we have Leaf saying he won't be here forever, and out there he needs you. Needs? Like a protector or a wife? I don't know. It's time, Sir Davos. Guys, I apologize for what you're about to see. Ha! What you're about to see is my man 1-1 kick in the castle gate and smash some fool against a stone wall. Tell me that wasn't sick when all in one motion he just snatched that moron up, flattened him against the wall, and then tossed his limp, lifeless body at their feet. The rest of them were like, "Nah, I'm good, no problem here," as they lay down their weapons. All but little Ollie. Such a sad little attempt he had there at the end. I just wanted a wildling to just grab him, put him over his knee, and paddle his little ass. Back to a wine sink in King's Landing, and we have some loudmouth storytelling fool telling about how he flashed the queen and she liked it. You know, 'cause he's never been shy and he's blessed down south. You all know me, I wouldn't lie about this. There actually was a guy that jumped out and flashed Cersei on her walk of shame, so I'll have to go back and watch that to see if it's really him. Shortly after his boasting, we get to see what a dipshit this guy really is. Now, I'm a pretty big guy, and please believe me when I tell you I can more than hold my own, but if I was in an alley and I was taking a leak and I saw the zombie mountain coming my way, as painful as it would be, I'd cut it midstream and I'd find somewhere else to finish. And if I couldn't, I absolutely would not turn around and finish up on his leg. Yeah, that guy pretty much had it coming. Some people are just too stupid to live, but that was a pretty dope scene, and it was just sick. Short, sweet, smash, and we see the mountain's first victim. I just love how it panned right into the next scene into Cersei's chambers, and the mountain just walks in and stands there with fresh blood all on his armor, and she just looks at it like, then walks outside like it's nothing, without a word. At the bottom of her stairs, she's stopped by Lannister soldiers. You gotta love how the mountain just stepped right up and looked at her like, "You want me to handle this?" A dozen lion soldiers against one mountain, and they all had backsides puckered up. None of them wanted to fight him. Deep down, I knew nothing would happen against Lannister men, but I was hoping. I just can't wait until he starts disfiguring sparrows. That sigh the head soldier had at the end of it was just priceless. He so didn't want to die right then. Next, we're in the sept with King Tommen and Jaime over dead Marcella's body, and we find Tommen still feels like shit for what he let the Faith do to his mother. We hear they won't even allow Cersei into the sept for her own daughter's funeral. The High Sparrow shows up, and we see just how much Jaime really wants to slit his throat. He finds that the High Sparrow is a little more cunning than he actually would have thought, and he decides it wouldn't be such a good idea to kill him right now, especially as all his other little sparrows start coming out of the woodwork. Alone we are nameless and nobody, but together we can overthrow an empire. With that little cocky smirk. Yeah, together you're going to get disemboweled and beheaded. I really can't wait to see them get theirs, and I also want to see Sister Anella have to be made to make that walk of shame through King's Landing. Tommen goes to see his mommy. He sadly tells her he's sorry and wishes he would have pulled the sept down on the High Sparrow's head before he let them do that to his mother. She raised him to be strong, but he wasn't. He wants her to help him be strong, and oh, please believe she has a few ideas for that. Remember this?
Look at me! Look at my face. It's the last thing you'll see before you die.
Yep, very, very shortly, Sparrowheads will be rolling. Over to Marine and tisk tisk. If I lost my cock, I'd drink all the time. Yep, Tyrion completely forgot the company he was in. Meaning no offense. Please don't backhand me, Grey Worm. He makes dwarf jokes, I make eunuch jokes. I do not make dwarf jokes. You think them. Gotta love how well these two know each other and the way they're in each other's heads. Things aren't going well for our new rulers. Surely there must be some good news. Nope, not really. What about the dragons? We have two of them here. Oh yeah, we're about to get our classic little tea line. How do you know this? It's what I do. I drink and I know things. Dragons are intelligent, more so than men according to some maesters. They have an affection for their friends and a fury for their enemies. I am their friend. You gotta love Varys. Do they know that? It's time they had their supper. Hell yes, let's go see the dragons. So down in the caverns we go, and as he gets closer, Tyrion looks like he's starting to have second thoughts. Then he nearly stains his small clothes when Viserion comes up growling. To his credit though, little T stands strong. I'm here to help. Don't eat the help. He takes off their chain collars and the dragons appreciate it. He then rapidly makes his way back to the entrance and tells Varys, next time I have an idea like that, punch me in the face. Varys nods like sure, but you can tell how impressed he was. You have huge balls for a little guy. Those dragons are getting big. Was anybody else wondering how they're going to get those big old dragons out of that little old door? Back to Bravos for our daily blind beatdown. What's your name? Hey, Arya tried. She was on her feet instantly, but blind is blind. Swack! Right in the kisser. Arya takes her fist smack to the head and loses her shit. It was a great scene watching her beat the crap out of thin air. Then Jock and her guard test her one more final time. What is a girl's name? A girl has no name. Come, a girl is no longer a beggar. Arya passes another test. It's so nice to actually see her do more than just sweep floors. Arya's storyline looks to be back on track, and it's definitely back to being one of the best in the series. Up to Winterfell with Ramsay telling Roose about their dead men that were found, and Roose is not happy, but Ramsay has a plan. Roose tells him what a shit idea it is, and then the maester comes in telling all that Walda has had the babe, and it's a healthy boy. Ramsay congratulates Roose, then promptly guts him with his blade. I wonder if it was the family Valyrian steel knife he killed him with. I definitely got a few predictions wrong so far this season, but it looks like I got this one right. Except I'm not sure that it'll be those guys burning on the cross, since Ramsay's trying to say that Roose was poisoned by his enemies. And, of course, it wouldn't be a Game of Thrones episode without a disturbing murder scene. I guess if you'll burn a little girl at the stake, why not feed a newborn to the dogs? At this point, I don't even know what Ramsay could do to shock me. At this point, it's like, yeah, that's fitting for that character. Those hounds definitely got a full meal deal this time around, especially after the skinny minis that they're used to tracking. Into the woods, and we see Brienne telling Sansa that Arya's alive. We've all had to make difficult choices as she stares at Rion. He's not quite Reek anymore, but by no means Theon either, so I'm going to call him Rion. She wants to kill him for all he's done, but in the end, he helped free Lady Sansa, so she's torn. But Rion knows he can't go see Jon. He's done too much, and Jon will just kill him. He decides he's going to head back home to the Iron Islands. Speaking of, we're back on Old Wit, Castle Greyjoy, and Yara's trying to talk some sense into a stubborn old king. After not heeding a word of her advice, he walks out onto a sway bridge to get to another part of the castle. The Greyjoy castle looks downright treacherous to me. I know I wouldn't want to be crossing on one of those rickety old bridges in a storm. It just all in all seems like it'd be a shitty place to live. What is dead may never die. Well, we'll soon find out, because Crow's Eye's back. Yep, Euron Greyjoy has returned. You're standing in my way, brother. Euron meets Balon in the middle of the Old Sway Bridge, and a feeble old Balon gives it a go, but it just doesn't take much for Euron to fling him over the side. So, I guess we'll see if you'll die or not. Yep, I'm guessing you're a goner. Asha swears by the Saltstone chair she'll find out who killed her father. The Damphir says it's not hers to swear upon. The new ruler shall be made at the King's Moot. It'll be cool to see how they bring that scene to life. Back to the wall, and Davos goes to see Melisandre. She's still pretty shaken up by misreading all the signs. Davos is like, to hell with all the gods. I'm not asking them for help. I'm asking you for help. My thing is, why does Davos care so much? Why is he so invested in Jon Snow? It seems once Stannis was killed, Davos should have just been like, I'm out of here. He also has never been a big fan of Melisandre's magic, or Melisandre for that fact. So why all this now? I know he's a great actor, and I'd hate to lose him, but is his staying cohesive with the storyline? I mean, out of nowhere, he wants to bring a guy back that he hardly knows and bring him back from the dead? Why? And if he's doing this, why not for Stannis? Shouldn't they be trying to find him and bring him back from the dead? But he talks her into trying, so she cleans him up and says the words, and nothing seems to happen. And Tormund's Giantsbane gives a look like, I knew this was BS, and he just walks out, and the rest soon follow him, and they leave a clean-shaven, freshly washed Jon Snow alone with his direwolf. But then, lo and behold, a few moments later, his eyes open up. So what or who is he now? Well, it looks like I got another prediction right. I said he'd come back in the second episode, third by the latest. His eyes are open in the second, and he'll be full on back in the third. Welcome back, Jon Snow. So yeah, all in all, that was a pretty dope episode. I mean, I'm gonna love it anytime I get to see one just come in and just do it. I mean, wow. I don't know what was cooler, him snatching that fool and smashing him, or when the mountain came through and put that fool's head into the wall. That was pretty sick too. Yeah, they could have called this episode just Smash, because it was pretty cool every time that happened. Yeah, and then back when we got to see Winterfell, that was awesome. I don't know. Like I said, I think that's one of the ways that Horder got his name. I think either he was fighting like Brandon or Robert, and he was like harder, harder, and then they smashed him, and he was like Horder, Horder. So either that happened, or he was fighting Benjen Stark, and Benjen just went ballistic on him, and Hodor was like trying to get back away from him, and he spooked a horse, and a horse kicked him in the back of the head, and he went dumb. I think that's either one of those two ways is what happened to him, but we'll see. Or maybe his name just really is like the others. I mean, maybe that's the other's name, Hodor, the name that should not be spoken, and it's just Hodor, Hodor, Hodor. He's always speaking it, so that'd be really cool too. But yeah, can't wait to see next week. Looks like we got some more answers that are about to be coming, and oh man, Tower of Joy. I mean, how sick is that going to be? I want to know who Jon's parents are, don't you? I mean, yeah, one of the biggest questions ever, so can't wait to see if I'm right about that one. That theory I made could be just awesome or just ridiculous. We'll find out soon enough. So yeah, can't wait till next week, and of course I'm going to have a couple more videos coming up, making a couple more theories and predictions, so stay tuned. And if you like the way I did this video, go ahead and thumbs up it. It's not going to cost you anything, so why not, right? And if you like how I do it, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be the first to know when some more videos come out. Game of Thrones is here. We're going to be going nuts with it all season long, so stay tuned. See you soon.